Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is James, and welcome to our channel. And thank you so much for joining us today. Let me get this back to me. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And today we are here on our channel to talk about understanding your audience and understanding how people are reacting to your content. If you want to know more, today we're diving into understanding your analytics. We're going to take a very basic look at your YouTube analytics, break down some of the terminology. We're going to talk about the stages of growth your channel goes through and how that's going to affect your channel over time. So we're also going to be taking questions and answers. So if you do have questions, make sure you're putting them in the live chat. And if you're catching this on the replay, if you have any questions as you go through this on the replay, make sure you leave me a comment below. We will respond to all the comments and all the questions. Plus, those comments are what drives a lot of our future content that we're putting out. So make sure you leave us that information and let us know what your questions are about understanding your analytics as we go through this today. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Today is Friday, and we are excited to be here. And let's see if anybody has come in. Nobody's in the chat yet. Okay, it's going to take a few minutes. We just went live. It is Black Friday, so there may or may not be some people show up for the live stream, but we're going to go through the content as if it is to those of you watching it on the replay. So I hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. So one of the things that a lot of people are always asking me, questions like, why isn't my channel growing? How is it that why are people leaving my channel? How are people, not subscribing? Why am I not getting getting my channel to grow? And 90% of those questions that people ask me, the first thing I say is, let's take a look at your analytics, because this is the number one place where you're going to understand what your audience is doing, how your audience is reacting. You also have to understand the stages of growth that your channel goes through. And this is something a lot of people get wrong. And some people don't really define this very well. For example, I was talking to another much bigger YouTuber recently, and they were talking about, well, when a small channel does this, when a small channel does this, this is what you need to do as a small channel. I was like, okay, how do you define a small channel? I said, well, anybody under 20,000 subscribers. And I talked to somebody else, and they said, well, a small channel is anybody under 10,000 subscribers. And somebody else told me, well, anybody under 100,000 subscribers. So people aren't really defining what a small YouTube channel is. And so I kind of broke down what I consider the stages of growth of your channel. If you're from 0 to 100 subscribers, you are just a baby. You are just a newborn, and the strategies that you need to get that first 100 subscribers is wildly different than the strategies you need to get to 1,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. So I broke this down. The first 0 to 100 subscribers on your channel, you're just a baby, and your focus really needs to be pumping out content. Just focus on creating more content and getting it out there and getting people to see what you're doing, and then getting out and networking and talking to people that are already in your niche. This is the number one strategy to get that first 100 to 200, 500 subscribers. Get out there and network with people. The second stage is really the toddler stage, where you're going from 100 to 1,000. You're getting your feet wet. You're kind of starting to understand the fundamentals of how to create a video. Now we have to learning how to tweak our videos, how to get more views, how to get more people engaged in our content. And this is kind of the toddler stage, though. You're just starting to learn how to walk. You can't be expected to run a marathon. I see a lot of people in this baby stage and then this toddler stage that are wondering why they're not performing as well as a channel with over 100,000 subscribers, or with millions and millions of views on their channel. You're not going to perform that well when you're fresh out of the gate, especially if you're a brand new YouTuber and this is your first channel. Now, if you're an experienced YouTuber, the more experience you have, the faster you're going to go through these initial stages because of the experience you already bring to the table. But if you're brand new to YouTube, you're not going to experience that growth because you don't understand. You're having to learn what you're doing, and you have to be willing to open up and learn. Anywhere from 100 to 1,000 subscribers, you're just a toddler, and you need to understand that and don't have super high expectations. For example, I have a toddler. He's 2 years old now, and he just started walking, and he's kind of running around the house. I'm not expecting him to go out and run a marathon. It's probably going to be years before he can be at the skill level where he could run a marathon. Does that mean he will ever run a marathon? No. Does that mean he won't be able to run a marathon eventually? No. He will be able to get there if he chooses to do that in his life, but it's not something I expect of him at being 2 years old. And this is the same way you need to look at your channel. You shouldn't expect that kind of growth on your channel when you're just a toddler. You got to understand that your channel is just starting out. So make sure that you are understanding where you're at in this cycle. 0 to 100 subscribers, you're just a baby. You're being carried everywhere you got to go. 100 to 1,000 subscribers, you're just a toddler. You're just getting started. 1,000 to 10,000, you're kind of in that child stage where you're just in that elementary school level age where you're just kind of getting your feet wet. You're still getting to know the things. You've gotten more features unlocked, but after 1,000 subscribers, so you've got a little bit more tools to work with. You have a little bit more skill and experience, but you shouldn't expect still to have that explosive channel growth. It's going to still be a little bit slow growing. But just keep putting out content, keep improving your content, and keep looking at how people are reacting to the content you put out. By the time you get to 1,000 subscribers, you should be looking at these analytics almost every day, determining how people are reacting to the content you're putting out. And we're going to start diving into that analytics here in just a minute. But understanding what stage you're in is going to determine which part of the analytics you focus your attention on, which is why I wanted to start with that. Once you get over 10,000 subscribers, now you're kind of like in that teenage years. From 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers, that's really kind of a teenager age range of channel. So as you're into that teenage age range, that's going to be more helping you to engage people. You're going to be growing. But here's the thing. I see a lot of people that are in that teenage to 100,000 subscribers, and they get kind of cocky, and they're like, oh, I know it all. I already know what I'm doing on YouTube. I don't have to listen to anybody else because look, I've already made all this. And guess what? A lot of times you're young, you're dumb, and you think you're bulletproof, but you're really not. You're still in a very young age in your channel. And then you get over 100,000 subscribers, and the channels that I talk to that are over 100,000 subscribers are a lot more mature in how they approach their content. Now, in these early stages, we can learn a lot from those channels with over 100,000 subscribers because they've learned a lot of strategies. But the strategies you need to go 100,000 subscribers and beyond, honestly, are totally different than the strategies you need to get there. And that's the problem. Is I see a lot of the YouTube growth channels that are teaching the strategies necessary to get over 100,000 subscribers than they are to get to that point. And so, my focus on my channel, honestly, is those first two stages I just talked about. It's that 0 subscribers all the way up to the first 1,000, because that's where I can take you. I've been there myself. I've built channels to 1,000 subscribers, and I can help you get there with my channel. I can't help you get to 100,000 subscribers because I don't have a channel that's at 100,000 subscribers. Maybe eventually, as I grow, I will be able to move that forward a little bit and expand who I'm talking to. But this is what I want you to do. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're over 1,000 subscribers, you don't have anything to learn here. I do have a lot of people that follow my channel that are over 1,000 subscribers. I have people that have way more subscribers than I do on any of my channels, and all my channels put together that still follow our content. So what we want to do, though, is we want to dive into understanding how our audience is reacting to our content. So I see some people coming into the live stream. Say hello in the chat when you're here. We are going to be kind of keeping an eye on the chat again. For those of you just joining us, make sure that you have any questions about what we're talking about, that you leave a question in the chat. So right here we are on our homepage, and let me see here. Let me pull it up. This is our homepage on YouTube, and what we're going to do is we are going to click over to look at that video. So now here we are on our homepage. Now, if you're new here, I did a video earlier this week on the basic overview. So make sure you check that video out. I'm going to touch on some of the things from that video, but I'm not going to dive too deeply into it. So if you're brand new, you don't know where your analytics are, there's a couple of ways. Right here, it says manage videos from your homepage, and you can click on that. Also, I have another video up here. This is actually a video we're going to deep dive, look into the performance of this particular video here in just a few minutes. Right here, though, you see analytics. You can click on that, and it's going to take you directly to the analytics for that video. Now, let's go right here to manage videos. And this is your YouTube dashboard. This is going to show you the basic overview of your channel. You get a little bit of information of what's performing and how it's performing here. Channel analytics, 73 subscribers. I've gotten 16 new subscribers in the last 28 days. Thank you guys for subscribing to our channel. 569 views, up 118%. Since this is a new channel, that's not surprising. Watch time 55 hours in just the last 28 days. That's up 147%. Thank you guys for watching our videos. We really appreciate that. Now, if you look right over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see all the different sections in your dashboard. We're going to be doing videos on each one of these sections, and probably multiple videos on each one of these sections moving forward. But come to the fourth one down is your analytics. And this is the most visited section on my dashboard in the back end of my studio, is the analytics. Almost every time I'm in my back end, I make a stop by my analytics to see how my channel is performing. Now, your very first view is going to tell you right here some of the most important views: the number of views you've had on your channel overall, the amount of watch hours you've had on your channel. Now, this is defaults to the last 28 days, and the number of subscribers you've gained in that time. That's not your total number of subscribers. That's just the number of subscribers you've gained during this time period. Now, if you want to look at your channel, for example, you're trying to get to monetization, you can come right here on the right-hand side where it says last 28 days, check last 365 days, so you can see your performance over the last year. And then you can look at your watch time. This needs to be 4,000 hours of watch time in that last 365 days. And this subscriber count needs to be over 1,000. Again, if you've been going longer than a year, your subscriber count may not be over 1,000 here, but you need at least 1,000 subscribers to get to that monetization. So this is your channel analytics overview, and then you see your top performing videos on your channel. This one right here, 87 views, 37% average view duration. This is the video that we put out on the YouTube terms of service. We're going to talk about that video today here in just a few minutes and break down what worked and what did not work on that video, so that I can, because this is what I do. This is why I look at analytics, because this is what's going to tell me what's working and what's not, how people are reacting to my content, and how I can continue growing as a YouTuber as we grow. The second tab here is your reach. And this is one of the most important things to look at. I see a lot of people saying that, well, YouTube's never showing my videos to anybody. This right here means YouTube is showing your videos to people. And if this is 0, then that means YouTube's not showing your videos to anybody, and you need to figure out why YouTube's not showing. But honestly, even with a brand new channel with only one video, you should have something here. It may not be getting clicks, but you should be getting something right here showing that you have impressions. Impressions means that that's how many people have seen, had an opportunity to see your thumbnail and title for a video. Mine's 8.9 thousand impressions over the last 365 days. That means 8,000 times, almost 9,000 times YouTube has shown my channel. Now, the impression click-through rate, This is what's going to determine the number of views you're getting based on your impressions. So out of that 8,000, almost 9,000 impressions, 3.6% have clicked on a thumbnail to see my content. And why this is down 50% from a year ago, I don't know, because this channel didn't even exist a year ago, but somehow they're saying it's down. Number of views, 875 views. That's up 999%. Of course it is, because this video had no content. As you can see here, that's why there's nothing here. This channel had no content a year ago. You can also scroll down this right here. Now, people will also sometimes see, and this one does match up, but sometimes you'll see this impression count or this views does not match this number here. So that's because YouTube has to qualify views. Also, those impressions and views matter differently. This data comes from how many times they've showed it in suggested and other features. So you can look right here and see how your videos are performing. 3.6% click-through rate. That's not great. That's why titles and thumbnails is like my number one priority right now on my particular channel that we're trying to improve. Views from impressions, though, 320 views from impressions across my channel. This means that 320 people have seen my thumbnails or titles and clicked on them. Okay. So when you're saying YouTube's not showing my videos to anybody, unless this is zero, that is not true. If this is zero, that means nobody has had the opportunity to see your channel. But if this has any numbers at all, that means YouTube is showing it to people. It's just a matter of breaking down why they're not clicking to look at your video. This is why I tell you the number one thing you have to do to grow on YouTube is take responsibility for your channel, because this data is showing that YouTube is showing my channel, but they're not clicking. So this is where I have to take responsibility for my titles, my thumbnails, and how my videos are performing when YouTube shows it to people. And we're going to break down one of my best performing videos and see what's worked on that video and why, because I've been making some massive changes in my thumbnails and titles in just the last week or so. So then we can also look at our traffic sources. This is your browse features. This means when people are looking at, say, their home page, or they're seeing it from the YouTube subscription feed. Now, this right here is notifications. So this is when people are subscribed. They click the little bell. 19% of my traffic comes from those notifications. Channel pages means the pages on my channel. That's these pages right here. This is my channel pages, my video page, my home page, my playlist. These are channel pages on our channel. So then we go back here. External, this would be my Facebook and other sources. We'll look at that here in just a second. So you look right here, your traffic sources. Facebook, one of my number one traffic sources. One of the reasons this is important to look at is you always want to be doubling down on what's working and kind of forgetting and leaving off the things that aren't really working for your channel. So I know one of my top traffic sources for external traffic is Facebook. I want to double down on Facebook. I want to start spending more effort on trying to increase my Facebook traffic because it seems to be working. A large portion of my external traffic is coming through Facebook. Drum it up. Google search. I'm constantly trying to get in Google search, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of effort on it because look, only 4% of my traffic is coming through Google search. So as a small channel, kind of expect that. But as my channel grows, as my authority grows, that'll probably go up on its own. But I'm not going to spend a lot of effort on that. Traffic sources, suggested videos. This is going to show you the specific videos that your videos are being suggested off of. Added features in StreamYard, and you can actually check these videos out. This is YouTube Terms of Service Change. This is actually my own video on Friday, and that's actually an auction channel, emergency family meeting plus house update. Shorts are working, even old ones. That's one of my other short videos. So that's going to tell me what videos are getting the most traffic. And right here, YouTube search traffic. This is going to tell me what keywords I'm ranking for in search and how I'm getting traffic from those sources. Hello, Adrian. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining us today. And so, as we're going through, we just keep looking the engagement tab. This is going to tell you again your top videos, the top videos that are being clicked on by end screens, and my top playlists, my top end screen elements. These are videos best for viewers. These are the ones that are getting clicks. So, 4.2% of my videos that I'm recommending at the end are getting clicks. I'm trying to get those numbers up. Best for viewer, that's where I put a end screen and I just select best for viewer. 2.9% of those are being clicked. So I'm working on trying to get more people to the end of my videos and then get those clicks at the end. That's a huge engagement score. And that's one of the things that YouTube's going to use to determine whether to continue recommending your content, is how many people are making it all the way through the end and taking those actions on your end screens. So let's start diving in. Again, I just want to do a really quick walkthrough of this overview screen. I did a really in-depth video of it on Monday, so make sure y'all check that video out. But we're going to actually take a look at this specific video. This is the top performing video on my channel right now, and we're going to break down what worked, what didn't work, and how it's worked. Look, 87 views, not a whole lot. As a small channel, I don't expect a whole lot, but that most of those views came within the first 12 hours that view was online, and I'll go into why here in just a few minutes. So we're going to click on the analytics of that particular video, and this is how that video has been performing. 90 views. This is up even from what it's saying up on front, which is 87. So I've gotten more views just this morning. 3.5 hours of watch time. That's awesome. But only one subscriber. And I know why I only got one subscriber through this video. We're going to break that down. So we're also going to look down, and this right here is one of the most important things to learn how to read, is your audience retention report. This is how people are reacting to your content, and this is what's going to determine whether YouTube continues showing your video to new people. So you really have to pay attention to this audience retention report. We're going to break that down. Now you come up here, back up to the top, we have our, this is the overview. You have your audience reach. A lot of people, if you're saying YouTube's not showing your videos to anybody, your impressions shows that YouTube is showing it to people. They've showed this video to 372 people, have viewed that title and thumbnail for at least 3 seconds. So that's not as great as I would like it to be. I would like that number to be higher, especially with the engagement of this particular video. Now, this video, the reason I put this video out is it was a trending topic in our niche. It was about the YouTube terms of service change that came out last week. I put that terms of service email went out on Wednesday. I put this video out Wednesday night. As soon as I read the email from YouTube, I started working on a video on it, and I rushed the video. And I got it out quickly. And part of the reason this video performed as well as it did was because I had one of the first videos out on the topic. It wasn't the best made video, and I had a lot of problems with how I did the video, which we're going to break down as we look at these analytics. But what really worked was I was out ahead of all of the big gurus in the niche, so I wasn't competing with them for the traffic in that initial push, and that was really, really important. The quality of the video is why it didn't perform as well, but the title and the thumbnail, look at this, 12.4% click-through rate on this video, 90 total views on this video, which is up 60 more than usual. This is a huge thing. This is one of the things you always want to see, is that number going up. It needs to be higher than your previous videos. YouTube search, highest traffic source to this video. Channel pages, browse features, external traffic, director unknown, and others. I still don't know what this others is, but it's always showing up. So 367 impressions, 11.4% click-through rate is what it's reporting here. And 42 views from impressions. Average view duration is only 2 minutes and 25 seconds. We're going to break down that when we look at the retention report. And watch time from impressions, 1.7 hours. That's pretty good, as small as my channel is. 63% of my traffic on external came from Facebook, DuckDuckGo, Next. I don't even know why I keep getting traffic from DuckDuckGo. Ecosia, I have no idea who that is. Bing search, 0. And then I can look at, these are the keywords that sent me traffic. YouTube ads, 12% of that traffic. YouTube terms of service, because this was the YouTube terms and conditions, 9% YouTube terms and conditions 2020, because this was the YouTube, sorry, now this one right here, 9.7% from Susan Wojcicki. I have no idea who that is. I don't know why I got ranked for that word, but somehow I did. One of the things that I want to look at then, is if I've got a 12.4% click-through rate, that is amazing performance for that thumbnail. I want to look at the thumbnail and the title. One, don't panic over this, and I'm pointing to the YouTube terms of service in a specific section in the terms of service that people were panicking over. Now this isn't working as well now. That's why my impression click-through rate is dropping off, because a lot of the people that, when I first put it out, it was extremely powerful because everybody was just learning about this change. Now people have kind of seen some other content about it. They kind of know what's going on. So it's kind of dropped off, and I'm thinking about tweaking my thumbnail for long-term performance, as well as tweaking my title for more long-term performance now that the panic stage of that is over. Now let's look at the engagement, and specifically we're going to look at our audience retention here in just a minute. But this gray area down here, this is kind of the average performance of my channel over time for that particular area. And this red line is this particular video. So as you can see, this video is performed above the average for my channel across the board. That's huge. This is what you want to be seeing. You want to see where the videos you're putting out are performing better than the average across your channel. And that's going to help you continue to grow. Now, one of the things we do, we click on the audience retention report, and now we can see this graph. And not only do we see the graph, we see the video. As you click through the video, you see that it changes where we're at. And I can actually just play the video. And as you can see, it'll actually move this graph forward. So I can look and see, okay, I had this huge drop off. What's going on right there? It's really dark. The audio is really bad because I was outside on my cell phone recording this. And that's where my huge drop off is. If you notice, we go forward, and right in here is where I drop what this video is about. And from there, it kind of stays pretty steady. It goes up and down a little bit. No more huge drops all at one time. You can see my coloring isn't really great. I was having some lighting issues. Again, I was rushing to get this video out. One of the things that I did as I watched through this video, the reason I only got one subscriber from this particular piece of content is because I never did a call to action asking for people to subscribe. And that was huge. That was a huge mistake on my part. But it's something that caused my performance of my video to not, so I have the most popular video on my channel not bringing in new subscribers, even though I'm bringing a lot of new viewers that have never heard of me, simply because I never asked them to subscribe to my channel. So that's something I have to keep in mind. Even if I'm in a rush as I'm moving forward, I want to make sure we ask for that subscribe so that I get more people subscribing to our channel. Now we're going back to our audience retention report, and let's really look at how this video performed. You can also look relative audience retention. So this gray line is going to show the audience retention across your channel. And you can see how your audience retention is compared to the rest of your channel. You see, I kind of lose people there below average, but then it comes back up to the average point. Now, what I did notice is right here, I have a drop off of people. Let's go back to the audience retention. I have this little bit of a drop off right at the end of the video. That was also where I gave a call to action, and I actually have a fairly good click-through rate where they're clicking on my end screen, which is what I wanted them to do. So that part is actually working. Even though it looks terrible because I have this drop off right at the end, that drop off happened when my end screen popped up and I had told people to click on a video. So they didn't watch all the way through to that last 30 seconds of the video because I clicked on my end screen. That was a good thing because that means a large percentage of the people that came that did stick all the way to the end clicked and went to the next video. So, but what I really want to pay attention to is this right here. I got a ton of clicks, 80% of my traffic coming in right early on, but then they dropped off 50% of my traffic within the first 47%. So I lost, over half of my traffic within the first 43 seconds. I rambled on a lot in the very early stage of this video. I should have cut about a third of what was in there, and I may go back to the YouTube editor and try to trim that down so maybe I can improve retention on that particular video as it moves forward. I'm also looking at rewriting the title and thumbnail now that the hype of the trend is kind of over, but it's still relevant information to people moving forward. So I may go ahead and try to trim it up just to try to tweak the performance of that video a little bit over time. But this is important because this is going to help me understand my audience better, because now I know I got a thumbnail and title that got clicks. This is huge because now I know kind of what style of thumbnail I need to be doing. I've been mentioning this a lot. My thumbnails and my titles is my number one focus on this channel right now because I'm trying to increase the click-through rate. I'm trying to increase the number of people, and this one has performed really, really well. So I'm going with more of this style of thumbnail moving forward because out of all the thumbnails I've been testing, this one seems to be working the best. Also using more powerful language, breaking news. This was breaking news. This news came out on Wednesday. See right here, breaking news is your YouTube showing ads. And this is important because it was breaking news at the time I put it out. Now it's not breaking news anymore. It's been over a week. So I'm probably going to tweak that to be something else that's still compelling. But one of the reasons why I had that huge spike of traffic, we can look right here. Look at this. We had the highest number of views, 52 views in the first day. That was the day the YouTube Terms of Service came out. One of the reasons why this video performed so much better than everybody else is because I did not fine tune and polish this video as well as a lot of the gurus did. But because I didn't fine tune and polish it, I got the early traffic. Now, one of the things that I've looked at is I've analyzed this video. The number one thing I would change, I would do my title and my thumbnail and my description exactly the same. The only difference is I would have done that part and then just hit live and done a live video and done that. And looking at that overnight was why less than 12 hours later, me and Adrian, who's here in the chat, went and did a live stream where we again talked about the same issue. And guess what? That is now the second highest performing video on this channel with over 60 views on it right now. And that is why we followed it up less than 12 hours after I dropped that video. We followed it up with a live stream. Then about another day and a half later, I put a more polished video out on the same topic. It didn't get as much traction because a lot of other channels had already started putting out videos. But I beat the big channels. I beat Daniel Batal. I beat Brian G. Johnson. I beat Nick Nimmin, D. Nimmin, all of the bigger channels in our niche. I had a video out before them. That means I wasn't competing against them for the search traffic, for the views. And so I was able to get a lot of views very early in the life cycle of that video. The next morning, all those guys started doing live streams on it. They started going and talking about it and started putting out videos on it. And then my views have steadily dropped off as I'm competing now with the big channels. But this is why trends are so important. If you can be one of the first ones out on a trend, no matter even if it's not the most polished video, even if it's not the best video, you can get a lot of really great response from people by just getting out in front of people as fast as possible. Again, the one thing I would have done differently looking back on it is I would have done the optimization the same, and I would have hit live and gone immediately live stream. That would have cut an hour and a half out of my time getting content out there, and it would have been possibly showing up in recommendations to people as they were showing it and as we were live, and kind of hooked more people through doing a live stream immediately whenever the issue was going on. So good morning, Richard. Good morning, Amber. I hope y'all are having some value from this. For those of you that came in late, we did kind of go through the overview of analytics just a little bit. But would I have also gone live? I probably would have. I probably would have still done 2 live streams instead of just one. Gone one live that night, just talking to people about it, and then gone live the next day. And you weren't the only one that I invited. You were just the only one that showed up. I had like 3 or 4 other YouTubers that I talked to that I had invited to join me on that live stream. And a couple of them just didn't get the message till after the live stream was over. And then they were like, oh, I would have jumped in if I'd have known. So let's get back to our analytics overview. So we are going to look, this is one of the things as we're getting back into our overview of the analytics. You can break down your traffic sources, where people are watching. This is important to know the demographics of your videos. Viewer age, I don't really have enough data. You're going to get this not enough demographics data. Until you start getting thousands of views, you're really not going to get much information in this stage. But this is going to help you a lot in the future with brand deals and things like that once you start knowing the demographics of who's watching. View gender, again, you need more data. The dates and how your videos are performing by date. This is how many views you're getting on every day of your channel. Again, November 19th, 100 views. That was because I had the video that came out on the YouTube terms of service change and it came out like right before midnight. So a lot of those views came in right around early morning. And then we also did the live stream that same day. So I got a lot of views to my channel on that particular day. That's the most viewed day of my entire channel. So as we move forward, we're just going to continue taking advantage of trends and trying to get out in front of more people. Subscribed versus non-subscribed, and this is kind of almost even here. We're getting closer to that even point. Eventually you want this non-subscribed to be bigger than your subscribed, and that's one of the things that I'm working on. This is why I'm trying to improve my titles and my thumbnails and getting more clicks on our videos, getting more rankings in search. One of the key factors you have to really understand that YouTube is looking at in search is, let's go right here to your reach, your impressions, your click-through rate, your number of views, but then come back here, your watch time and your watch time percentage on your video. These are huge factors that YouTube's going to use to determine whether or not you're wearing. This is why this right here, 37% average view duration. I really am trying to get that up. Again, I had that huge drop off early on, which is why I've kind of slowed down on the traffic. If this was much higher and I was getting a higher view duration, then we would probably still be getting more traffic to that particular video than we are, but we're still getting traffic. We're still getting a trickle of traffic coming to that video. One of the things that I've also shown before is some of my other channels where I've gotten thousands of views on some of my other videos on other channels a year, 2 years, 3 years after I recorded those videos. Let me see if I can pull one up here. And this is one of my channels here. We're going to look at my videos, And look here, I have, a lot of these have very low view numbers. Again, this channel, I never did share this video very much. This was actually, all these videos were just embedded on my blogs and on my websites. I wasn't looking at YouTube as a platform to build an audience. But look at this, how to resize an image in paint.net, 23,000 views, published 10 years ago. This one here, 4,000 views. Traffic Travis, find good keywords. And over the years, I got over 4,000 views to that video, and it was promoting a tool that I used back then. That tool doesn't even work anymore. They've completely moved that channel. It still exists, but it's not being updated as well, so it's not being pushed very much. But that was that we used for keyword research about 10 years ago. And 725 views, 600. So a lot of these videos, though, whenever I quit working on this channel, had like 20, 30 views. This one here, 15,000 views. Again, another step-by-step tutorial on paint.net. Those tutorial videos, this is one of the things. A lot of people ask me to do some of these step-by-step tutorial videos. This is why a lot of people don't do them. And I've talked to a lot of bigger channels about why they don't do this kind of videos. The reason why is out of the gate, they don't perform very well. You might get 100, 200 views on one of those videos right out of the gate. Some of those videos, whenever I first put them out 10 years ago, they had like 40, 50 views, maybe 100 views 10 years ago. But over time, they performed really, really well. So you've kind of got to look at long-term views versus short-term. Another thing with those is if it's something like that software hasn't been updated a whole lot. So over the years, it's still somewhat relevant now than it was 10 years ago. But a lot of software, for example, when I did my step-by-step walkthrough on how to set up your homepage on YouTube, I recorded the entire video. And before I could publish the video, YouTube completely changed the customization screen on YouTube. So I had to completely scrap a video I had spent hours of work on and then create a whole new video. And because of that, and it's a video that doesn't perform very well. So I spent all this time, recorded the entire video twice, edited it all down, and it's already becoming outdated because they've already made changes since I made that video. So you're constantly having to recreate that content and it doesn't perform well. It's just not worth the time invested for most bigger channels. That's why a lot of the bigger channels don't do the step-by-step tutorials on how to do stuff, because as soon as they change the system, your video's outdated. And for a video that doesn't perform that well initially, it's not worth it to go through the effort and then constantly having to update that content. Now, for a smaller channel like me, I'm willing to do that kind of stuff because I know it will get some views. It will get me some subscribers. It will get me some traction on my channel. And if it's something I know won't be changing a whole lot over the next several years, it might change a little bit, but it's not going to change a whole lot. It could eventually lead to hundreds and thousands of views on my channel over time. So, and don't forget, y'all, we are going to be taking questions on analytics. If I didn't clarify something, or maybe you came in and missed some of the earlier stuff, if you have any questions about understanding how to read your analytics, leave me a comment in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you leave me a comment below to let me know what it is that your questions are about the analytics. One, we'll go through any live questions right now, but we'll also be diving deeper into these analytics in upcoming videos, and those questions will help me understand exactly what to hone in on as we're creating more videos on understanding these analytics. So I want to go back and look at our audience. This is one of the important tabs on our analytics that we need to look at. So this is, if you're looking at your video analytics, the last tab on the end is your audience. And this is going to help you understand how people are reacting to your content. So you're going to, again, see your viewers. Your average views per viewer is 1.3. That means 1.3. That means people are rewatching the video. If this is over 1 average views per viewer, that means that people are going back. They're either going back and rewatching portions, or they're going back and rewatching the whole video. Average 1 subscriber. Again, I never did a call to action to subscribe. This right here, watch time from subscribers. 66% of my watch time came from non-subscribers. That's great. That's a good signal to YouTube that people aren't even subscribed to me or watching my video. Top geographies, United States is 28%, but it's not telling me who else is getting my views coming from. So we'll have to look into the geographies later. Subtitles, no subtitles, because I didn't do subtitles, and that's one of the things I'm starting to test more. I am starting to do more subtitles on my videos. This grayed out area here, this is more up to date, but see here, data still processing. So that means that they don't have this data, but you can see kind of the trend of this video. The 17th of November, the 18th, 19th is when it really hit the peak, and then it's kind of gone down. So you can kind of see how people react to your content over time. In the initial stage, this is when this was the hot topic. The day it came out, everybody was wanting to know more about it. Within those first couple of days, then it kind of peters out over time. Also, as more people got videos out, now I'm competing with bigger and stronger channels, more authoritative channels for those same keywords. So my traffic is going down slowly. My performance has gone down, but I'm still getting views a week later on that video. I'm just getting down to a few a day now, but it's still performing fairly well. And if you want to look at it across your channel as a whole, don't just look at one thing. So if I go back here, oh, that's the wrong tab. Go back here. And we go to our analytics. So now we can kind of see our channel overview. We can see how this video is performing against other videos. If you click see more, now you can see a graph where you're actually seeing all of your videos and how they're performing overall, and you can put that one against another video and see, okay, so I put my terms of service change versus the live stream that we did. Actually, the live stream on that day was performing better than the video. The live stream got 52 views, whereas the recorded video only got 34 views on the day that we did the live stream. And then over time, then the next day they were about the same. And over time, though, that video has actually performed better than the live stream over time as a replay value. But on the initial day, again, this is one of those things that's important. One of the things you're going to notice, usually your live streams will perform best the day of the live stream while you're actually doing the live. Stop struggling to grow with your channel. My next top performing videos, understanding your audience and know your audience. These are, you can break it down by views. You can also look at your view duration and look at things by how they are performing overall. Again, when we're looking at video performance, we don't want to just look at one metric. One of the things you want to kind of look at your averages across your channel. But we want to look at this one here again. This is the same one we've been looking at. Okay, so when you're new, you want to really look at two major things: your impressions and your click-through rate. These two factors right here, your impressions and your click-through rate, are going to determine how many people view your video. So you want your impressions as high as you can get them. You want that click-through rate as high as you can get it. That's going to mean people are viewing your video. When you start getting this number up, you start getting a good percentage of your people clicking through. Then we start looking at your retention. The next thing to look at is that retention report. Where are people leaving? Like this one here, 59% of my people of the views on this video, 50%, 47% at 45 seconds into the video. That's not great, but that means that at least almost half of the people made it through that first minute. And then we follow falling down. It's kind of slowly going up and down most of the way. And then right around here, okay, I start seeing some drop off here. So what was I going through here in that video? I could start coming right here, see where we were at and what we were doing. This is blogging and online marketing. I know I started hosting videos on YouTube 10 years ago because it was free. So, maybe, and I think some of the comments and some of the response I got off of this video was the aggressiveness that I had in how I presented the content. That may be part of why I was losing people. And so these are the kind of things. One, I want to look at these reports. I want to see where those drop offs are, where those highs and lows are. Again, I talked about this very early on in this live stream, but for those of y'all that came in late, that didn't catch the beginning, there's a few things that I look at. One, you got to look at the life cycle and the stage of growth in your channel. If you're 0 to 100 subscribers, you might want to glance at these, look at that views, look at the impression count, look at the click-through rate, and look at your retention. Those are the three top things to look at when you're really, really small. I wouldn't look at really anything else but those three things and try to improve those three things on your channel. Those are what's going to help you grow to 1,000 subscribers. If you're in that first two stages that I talked about, the baby stage, which is 0 to 100, the toddler stage, which is 100 to 1,000, if you're in those two stages, that's where I'm at right now. Those are the three things I look at the most on my channels: is the click-through rate, the impression rate, and the watch time and watch time percentage. Those are what's going to keep me moving forward to get to that first 1,000 subscribers. That's what's going to get you to that first 1,000 subscribers. And then part of it too is, what are you doing in those early stages to promote your channel? As you can see, those impression rates aren't impressive. They're not getting out there. They're not being viewed by a ton of people. I'm not getting thousands of impressions. That means I need to do more to push my channel, because YouTube's not pushing it enough for me to grow at the rate I want to grow. If you want to grow faster as a small channel, when you're not getting the impressions, when you're not getting the click-through rates, when you're not getting people, then networking. Get out there, start talking to people, get on the live streams of other people in your niche, start getting out there and talking to people. I've already been on a couple of live streams here in the creator space, talking to people's audiences, sharing my ideas, sharing what I'm doing. And I'm doing more and more of that moving forward. We're getting in front of other people's audience who has the viewers that I want on my channel. Instead of sitting back and being very passive and saying, I'm just going to target this keyword and I'm going to hope that YouTube sends me traffic. And then months later, you're wondering, why do I only have, 50 subscribers? And I see this other channel that has almost 1,000 subscribers after 3 months. Congratulations, Adrian. You are doing awesome. Why? Because she's out there networking. She's getting in front of the audience. She's talking to other people in her niche, and she's nailed titles, thumbnails, keywords, those things that get the most clicks. She's nailing those things right out of the gate. That's why she's improving. That's why she's doing, and she's studying how YouTube works, and she's applying what she studied. That's why she's seeing explosive growth on her channel. If you want to explode on YouTube, you have to be willing to put in the work and the research in learning how YouTube works and applying those things to your channel. This is one of the things I have people all the time coming to me asking, why aren't I growing? I go check out their channel. They've got 5 videos and those videos are bad. Now, Richard, what is it that you want to understand more about the analytics though? What area of it? I mean, I did an overview video just the other day. But if you got specific questions, or if you want to understand it deeper, that's what I was kind of wanting to do today, was answer those questions and dive into what people are looking at. So yeah, I mean, again, if you're small, those key things are going to really help you get a better understanding of your audience. And I want to highlight this. Remember not to compare to others. Everyone has different situations. She has a lot of spare time. She's doing this full time. She doesn't really have a whole lot of other things. I mean, she has other work to do with her farmstead and stuff, but she incorporates that work into creating her content. And that's absolutely true. Now, here's the other thing with that. Not only does she have more time, she has more understanding of how YouTube works. She's not doing this and going to school and working a part-time job and doing 100 other things. She's also highly focused on improving her channel. But don't compare yourself to others. This is why I think analytics is important, because when you start looking at your analytics, I'm not comparing myself to other people. I'm comparing myself to my own performance in the past. And this is huge. You want to look at, okay, let's get back to my analytics homepage if I can get there. Okay, so now I can start comparing this video to say this video down here that was one that I did last week, or some of these early videos that didn't perform as well as I had hoped they would. What is it that's different about this video than this video? And how are they performing differently? I can compare my past performance with my current performance, and that's what's going to help you grow. That's what's going to help you see, hey, you know what? I didn't get thousands of views, but I got almost, let me look here. I'm not getting hundreds of views on this video, but look at this, 87 views compared to 31 views. So it's more than double the number of views as my third most top performing video. That's huge. That shows a huge improvement on the performance of my channel. This one's 66 views. So the top two videos have more than double the growth of my previous performing videos. That's a huge thing. And that's something you need to understand as you're analyzing how you're doing and judging how you're doing. It's not comparing yourself to other people, it's comparing yourself to your past performance. And if you do that, you're at 180 subs. So again, at 180 subs, Richard, I would focus on your audience retention, how many people are dropping off of your videos, and then really breaking down. Okay, so for example, let me go back to that video and show you what I'm talking about when I talk about breaking it down. I'm actually going to have to change this just a minute. I'm going to start my screen share over because I want to share audio. And I am going to go to this one right here. And let's get back into the analytics on this video. I got it set up now. I can share the audio on this video retention. So let's get back to the analytics, my engagement, audience retention report. This right here, if you're wanting to understand why people are not watching your video, this right here is probably one of the most important pages. As you see here, you see your audience retention graph and you see the video. So I'm going to play the video and I'm going to watch this graph. As I'm watching the video, I'm seeing where people are dropping off.
Now they say they can monetize your videos even though you're not in the partner program. What does this mean? Today, we're going to talk about it. Let's get started.
Now, I'm losing a lot of people right here. Look at this. Look at how dark that is. And look at how shaky the video is. This is part of why I lost so many people early on in this video. This is what you have to do. You have to look at your video and say, okay, if I had a huge drop right here, what did I do that caused people to leave? Again, this is something I'm always saying. Take full responsibility for your channel. If I have a huge drop, what did I do that caused people to leave? It's not being down on myself, but it's analyzing what didn't work so I can fix it the next time I create a video.
Hey, this is James. Welcome back to my channel, and I am here to help you build your channel, optimize it for successful growth, and engage your audience. If you like that kind of content, stick around because that's what we help you do. Now,
value proposition. Didn't really lose a whole lot of people through my value proposition. I've spent a lot of time honing in on that. And that's really where it stabilized and started when I got to that value proposition. But look, the imagery, I got the camera in a little bit better position, the lighting slightly better, and it gets better whenever I go inside here in just a little bit.
Dave, this is a last minute video. I know it's dark outside. I'm out here. We're going to move back inside in just a second, but I just had to start this right now. People are freaking out all over the platform right now because YouTube put out a terms of service update today.
So I did that intentionally because I wanted people to know this is what's going on in the community. People are freaking out. This is why I put don't panic on my thumbnail, because people were panicking over the terms of service change. And so that's why I took the approach that I did as I created this video.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to help you understand what the new terms of service mean, what's really going on, and how is it going to affect you. We're going to talk about that right now. Let's get started.
So that's what I did. I introduced the video, and then it stays pretty steady. A little bitty drops here and there. I want to see right here, I lost about a 5% drop, which for this small video, we're going to go ahead and see what we did differently there.
I know they've been doing it for at least 2 years because I've seen it on non-monetized channels myself in 2 years ago. So this is
if you notice my eye contact, and I think this may be where I'm losing people, I'm looking away from the camera a lot. So that's something I've been actively working on a lot lately. I'm better now than I used to be, but I'm not where I want to be with it yet. But I'm working on that engaging eye contact with the camera as I'm going through these videos. And again, if I had more time, I probably would have re-recorded that, or I would have just done this whole thing live. But that's something that I see with this video performance where I'm losing some people there. So you really got to nitpick and break down what you're doing if you're losing people on your channel. So yeah, that is definitely something I am working on, Adrian. It's something I've been actively working on. Again, I'm better now than I used to be, but I'm definitely not where I want to be with that yet. So that is one of the huge areas. Just take that video step by step. Every time you see a massive drop off, every time you see things not going where you want it to go, or maybe even like one of the things that I looked at as I got through that video. Let me go back to it here. I see a little bit of a drop off right here at the end, but that's where my end screen comes up. And so people, then I'll go back and look, and I had some people clicking on that end screen going to the next video, which was huge. This is where you look right here, end screen click through rate 2.5%. Now this 2.5% is not 2.5% of the people that saw the end. That's based off of your total views. So from here, where I had 100% of my viewers, 2.5% of those people clicked on the end screen. So I had 37% here. So 2% of my total audience clicked on the end screen to see the next video I put out. And that was a huge thing. One of the things that I did with that after we did the live stream, I went back and changed my end screen on that video to go through to the live stream replay. And I'm getting views on a lot of the views I'm getting on the live stream replay are coming from this video. So that's one of the things that I did that you want to look at is if you're getting a huge drop off at the end, it may not be a bad thing. It could be that you're getting people to do what you want them to do and going to that next piece of content. That's huge, because that's one of the factors YouTube is looking at when they're looking at, do we continue promoting this video? One of the things that they're going to look at is how many people made it all the way to the end and viewed another piece of your content afterwards. That's why those end screens are important. That's why those cards are important. One of the things I see a lot of people do, and I've done this myself, is they go right here at the beginning of the video and they put a card right there at the beginning of the video that sends them to another video. And then they wonder why they're losing a lot of people. And if you look at that, you look at these analytics, it's going to tell you, hey, you've got this card within the first 2 minutes of your video. So people are only watching 2 minutes of your video and clicking on a card to go watch another piece of content. And especially, this is one of the worst things you can do, is using those cards to link to somebody else's channel, because you want them to stay on your channel, especially if you're at only 180 subscribers. If you're only 800 subscribers, you're 500. I don't recommend linking out to other channels in your cards and in your end screens until you're at least 5 to 10,000 subscribers, because your main goal needs to be keeping people on your content as long as possible, not sending them somewhere else. Now, I might do a shout out for another channel and I'll link to them in the description. Like, for example, I had this video. Let me go back to my videos. I had this video. Let me see if I can find it. This easy video intros. This was a video that I did on how to make my video intro with Camtasia Studio. I got the idea from Daniel Batal in one of his Filmora videos. So right here in the description, I said, thanks to Daniel Batal for helping me. And I said this in the video. And then here is a link to his video on YouTube, where I did not link to this video in my cards or in my end screen. I linked to that video in the description. And I told people in the video, if you want to see Daniel's video on this, you can check it out in the description. But I also did that at the end of the video, not at the beginning of the video. I did a shout out at the beginning when I said I got this idea from Daniel Batal's video on how to do this in Filmora. And then I went into my content. And then I repeated that. I got this idea from Daniel Batal at the end of my video. If you want to see his video on how to do this in Filmora, check the description. I did not link to it in my cards and end screens because I didn't want people clicking that card and going to his channel. I wanted them to stay on my channel and watch my next piece of content. I have a question. You know, there's an average views per viewer. I often get a number like what, 0.2. Okay, and I mentioned this earlier. That means people are rewatching your content. That's a good thing. That means people are watching it again. Maybe they're skipping through and catching highlights or catching certain pieces. I get this a lot on my step-by-step tutorial videos. That's why some of those videos over time get so many views, because that sends that signal to YouTube that say, hey, this person watched this video 3 times and they watched this section of the video 3 or 4 times. Also, if you start using the chapters now, which I'm starting to use it more and more in my videos, I'm starting to, especially these live streams, I'm breaking them down into chapters to make them more digestible. Those chapters, you'll see people skipping through the chapters and they'll see something they want to go back to. So they'll go back and practice a previous chapter they've already seen, and they might watch it 2 or 3 times. If you're doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to do something, people will go back because they're trying to get through that step. So they're rewatching that one step 3 or 4 times as they do it, trying to get it right. Yeah, basically they rewound the video and rewatched that part. They might have rewatched the whole video. Again, that's a percentage. It's an average over all your viewers. So if you had 800 views on a video and maybe 10% of those people rewatched a portion of the video, so that's where you're going to get those odd numbers that are a point of the number. And sometimes, I mean, your average views on some of those step-by-step tutorials, some of them on some of my other stuff, has been like 3 or 4 views per viewer. average. The reason why was they were tutorials and people were watching it over and over and over again, trying to get the steps of what I was teaching. Yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid question. If there's not any more questions, though, we are going to go ahead and cut it off. Again, if you have more questions later, as you start diving into this, as you start looking at your own analytics, if you have more questions, make sure you come back to this video, leave me a comment with those questions, because again, that's going to drive the future questions and comments that we have. Yeah, we have 4 people here in the chat. That's you, probably Richard, Amber still here. Oh, and me. I'm showing up in the chat too because I have the chat open. So there's our 4 people right there. But that's okay. I don't expect, as small as my channel is, I don't get a whole lot of people on the live stream. It's also day after a holiday. A lot of people are out Black Friday shopping, so I wasn't expecting a huge turnout. But hopefully there would be some replay value in this video today. If you have any questions, if y'all are new here, make sure, and you made it this far, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate everybody taking the time to come and watch our channel and help us to continue to grow. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments after this video. I'm going to go take care of the kids. Jessica wants to go do some shopping. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next video. Have a great day.